Welcome, alumni and friends of the College of Education and Human Ecology, to the 2022 Scholarship event. We thank you for your contributions and for the opportunity to make a difference in the lives of the students of our college. Because of our land grant mission, we strive every day to make a difference in the lives of our students and our community through our research, pedagogical experience, and service in our community. This takes a lot of time, energy, and resources to make this possible. We at EHE take this seriously and want to thank you for your time and effort in making this possible. Scholarships allow people to come to The Ohio State University and engage in a process of enlightenment, discovery, and participation. Our college is uniquely positioned to do many of those things, but without your scholarship support, it becomes a challenge for us to continue to transform the lives of our students. Thank you again for your time.
I've known from a pretty young age that I wanted to go to Ohio State. I grew up in Ohio, and my family and I are huge Ohio State fans. And when I was visiting schools, Ohio State was the first school that I had visited. And every school I visited after that, I would look at my dad and say, "It's not Ohio State." So once I got in here, I really knew that this is where I belonged. And the EHE program specifically, I was really drawn in by the exercise science program because not all schools offer that major. I received a scholarship my freshman year through EHE, and I received one my sophomore year as well. Both of these scholarships have really helped my family and I tremendously, kind of eliminating some of that burden that comes with the cost of college. Receiving one of these scholarships has really allowed me to focus more on my schoolwork and just being involved instead of, maybe having to take on a job or something outside of school. So it's really allowed me to just focus on my schoolwork and, the things that I'm involved in outside of school. I'm part of Universal Health Aid of Columbus. I'm part of Block O, which is our student sections, and I'm also a Buckeyes First Scholar. After my undergrad, I plan on going to physical therapy school, and then after that, I would have a year residency in pediatric physical therapy, and then another year fellowship in neonatology, so I want to be a neonatal physical therapist. The whole EHA college has been incredible. I love the faculty, the students, just anyone that I've interacted with there has been really helpful and kind. And especially with the students, I've met so many people that are also exercise science majors and have become really close with some of them. So I definitely love our college and really love the community that we have. Knowing how much that's helped my family and I by, a donor stepping in and offering that scholarship, I think that I want to be able to make that impact on someone else's life.
So I'm sitting here today with two of my colleagues, Kathy and Sam. I'd like you to spend a little time as we have this conversation telling people a little about yourself. Kathy?
Thank you so much. I grew up in southeastern Ohio in a small town called Marietta, and I came to Ohio State in 1971 as a first generation, then hoped to be a first generation college graduate, which I was. So I have deep and dear ties to Ohio State, and over the years have kept in close contact with many of my college friends, as well as gotten involved in the Alumni Association. So I'm on the governing board of the College of EHE Alumni Society as president-elect, and I very much enjoy having these close ties still to the College of EHE.
Great, thank you. Sam?
Well, thank you. I am both an alum as well as current faculty member here at Ohio State University. I also was a first generation student, did my PhD here, graduated in 1994 and was invited back as a faculty member in 1995. And so I've been here since that time.
Did either of you ever think you'd be here at this point in time, unaffiliated with this university?
I think Ohio State meant so much to me. It really changed the trajectory of my life. Being a first-generation college graduate, it took me away from Appalachia and my family, my ties in southeastern Ohio, but truly brought such value. Getting a quality education at Ohio State made such a difference. It changed our family's life economically. It added such value in terms of a broader reach of interest and meeting people from all over the world. So I'm not sure I ever imagined being in this particular situation. But I learned to love Ohio State all the years and all the value it brought. And my degree from here, from the College of EHE, was just so important in my life that I've always felt a need to stay tied to Ohio State. And as Emerson wrote, pay forward.
Sam?
Well, I similarly, again, during the time I was a graduate student here, I felt once I graduated, I would go away and never come back. I'm originally from the South, and so the weather is a bit different in North Carolina than it is here in Ohio. But when the opportunity came for me to come back as a faculty member, I felt that was too important to turn down because one of the things I did as a graduate student was advocate for diversity among the faculty. At that time, there were no faculty of color within the old School of Health, Physical Education, and Recreation. And so we did the advocacy. And so when the opportunity came for me to be a part of that, I like to live what I teach and preach. And so it was an opportunity I couldn't turn down.
Oftentimes when students come from communities that are different than the university environment, there are a set of expectations that come with that, and transition and change. And sometimes families are a little hesitant to let their children go because there's this fear that you won't come back or you're going to come back different. Did either of you encounter that tension, if you will, as you transitioned here at Ohio State?
Such a great question. I would say no one in my family had ever left southeastern Ohio before. Through generations, I think we have 4 or 5 generations that had settled in southeastern Ohio, both my mother's family and my father's family. I believe that they did have a fear, as my grandmother did. She was very sad when I left, that I would never come back home. And I never really did come back home. So those fears were realized. But I also believe that they had, as all parents and grandparents have, they want a better life for their children than they had. Southeastern Ohio was very difficult then in terms of economics and opportunities. So I think they had a pride, and as many students still today have, they carry the hopes and dreams of their family. So I was carrying the hopes and dreams of my family. Were they afraid I wasn't going to come back? Yes. But I believe that they knew my life. I had to learn to live my life, and they so much wanted a better life for me than they had.
Sam, how about that transition for yourself?
Absolutely. Well, community pride also manifests later. From the small, poor community that I originally grew up in and came from, there were really limited number of ways you would get out of the community. Joining the military was an option. Work in local factories, or get involved in gang activities and criminal activities. None of those 3 appealed to me very much. And so I decided, well, you know, why not be part of the change? And so I decided to enter college, had opportunities to do that, had the grades that allowed me to get certain scholarships to be able to do that. And when I say the community pride manifest, it came later as it was really new and different. And so once I began to have success in college and continue on, then more and more pride was demonstrated toward me from the community.
We know that the cost of education is not going down. And by the same token, there's an expectation from students that they be exposed and have opportunities to do a variety of things. We still have students on our campus had never traveled outside of the state of Ohio, never been on an airplane, never, all of these kinds of things that we envision as part of our experience.
I was only able to come to Ohio State for 2 reasons. 1, my dad's GI Bill, and 2, because of donors. I remember opening some of my first scholarships, and there was a scholarship that was, it had a name attached, and I'm sorry I don't remember that name, but it was earmarked for a southeastern Ohio resident. And I remember thinking at that time, wow, someone cared enough to donate money so that I could go to school. But someone donated money for me, and I've never forgotten that.
Yeah, well, so I can offer a bit of historical context to the scholarship that I'm a part of. And the name of the scholarship is the O'Brien Hodge Armstrong, and I mention those 3 names for a reason. At the time, I was the only African-American student in my program in physical education. Keitra Armstrong was the only African-American graduate student in sport management at the time, and Camille O'Brien was the only African-American in somatic studies. The 3 of us graduated around the same time. This was the early 1990s. We graduated, we all went our separate ways, but then we were invited back a year later as the first African-American faculty within the old School of Health, Physical Education, and Recreation at the university. They were here for about 3 years. I'm still here 27 years later. But now Keitra Armstrong is an associate dean at University of Michigan, and Camille O'Brien is an associate dean at California Polytech State University. We had a conversation several years ago about we should do something. We should give back because we've been connected with one another since that time. As cohorts, as support systems, we were support systems for one another at the time. We mentored one another at the time. And we thought, well, what would be a good way to give back? And the scholarship came to mind as a possibility, but not only offering our mentoring as a possibility, but also some financial support for other students who are in need of such support.
Yeah. Scholarship help individuals, communities transform the lives of many people, and I hope we at EHE continue to do that.
Hello, my name is Neil McKinney, and I am a second-year PhD student in the Higher Education and Student Affairs program within Ed Studies in the College of Education and Human Ecology. As a student, I am most interested in research that focuses on race and racism, in particular in support of students of color and their ability to attain their degrees. With your support, I'm able to do this research, and I am very much looking forward to continuing on my journey in the fall towards taking my competency exams. And so, again, I cannot thank you enough for the support, which has allowed me to feel supported by the college in my endeavors to do research.
Hi everybody, my name is Zach Mako, and I'm an exercise science major from Cleveland, Ohio. First, I'd like to thank Kenneth R. Kornhauser for giving me this scholarship to allow me to live out my goals. Growing up in a single-parent household has never been easy, and I'd like to shout out my mom for sacrificing everything, doing everything in her power to give me the best opportunity, working 50-hour weeks to put food on the table, and just showing me endless love and support. I've always loved sports, and when injuries took away my ability to play baseball, I realized that I wanted to help others avoid the pitfalls that I fell into, and my future goals are to become a physical therapist. My ultimate goal is to work for the Cleveland Browns one day because I absolutely love the Browns, and this scholarship has given me the motivation to work as hard as I can every single day, because without this generous donor's help, I might not be in this position to go to school and live out my dreams.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Welch-Grenier. I'm originally from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I am a doctoral student here at Ohio State University. I'm grateful for this opportunity to thank the donors today that made this scholarship possible for me. I was given a unique opportunity to work at a lighthouse for the blind and meet a different need for students that were at risk. The field that I'm in, working with students with visual impairments, is a very small field. There are only a handful of universities across the country that offer degrees in visual impairments, and Ohio State just happens to be one of them.
Hello, my name is Francisco Soto. I am a fourth-year moral scholar in the College of Education and Human Ecology, majoring in exercise science education with a minor in Spanish for business. So just to give you a brief backstory, this past summer I was participating in a summer course that I believe would and could be funded by my moral scholarship, but unfortunately that was not the case due to the semester constraint and finishing up this last year fully funded. So feeling that financial burden, I reached out to the College of Education and Human Ecology, and they were able to find me and award me the Shepherd Foundation Fund really on short notice, to which I'm eternally grateful, covered the full cost of my course. And so to that I say thank you. And so for my future goal, I will be becoming a physical therapist. And that drive really stems from my desire to help, which is what donors do every year, year in and year out. And so while I can't speak for everyone, I truly do think that I share the common opinion that our gratitude soars through the roof. And I really hope that one day I can do what you guys do for so many students. So thank you again, and go Bucks.
The scholarship has been really helpful financially, encouraged me to pursue my dreams with confidence, and inspired me to continue my education with more rigor and enthusiasm. I have 2 young children, and they give me a lot of joy. And what's really, helpful about this scholarship is that I could focus on my education and also pursue my degree with confidence and, with more time. College of Education and Human Ecology really encourages students to connect together, and you really challenge our perspective with each other, drawing from different backgrounds. I was really interested in facilitating equity and social justice in education, based on my past experience working with students with diverse backgrounds. As a researcher as well as a teacher trainer, I really wanted to promote this idea and share my passion with other people who are in the same field. And what I really liked about the Ohio State University, especially Language Education Society program, is they provide a year-long ethnography course and also a year-long discourse analysis course after that. And by taking those classes, I was enlightened, and it was really a great experience that I can't even describe in words. We can bounce off ideas together and really share our insights and thoughts from different fields, and those ideas converge and make something really fascinating to change the education and also the world.
Thank you for joining us today for this very special event presented to you by the College of Education and Human Ecology. Donors, we thank you for your contribution, because without it, none of this would be possible. Thank you for joining us today. OHIO.